Hello, ladies and gentlemen. I believe we are live. So while people are joining, I'll just run through a couple of things. Today, I'm going to just run through a bunch of stuff. Kind of an update, pardon me, kind of an update on the trip, where we are now, where we've been, what we've done, a few other bits and pieces. But if you're watching now and this is not live, then thank you so much. I really appreciate you. I'm bummed that you weren't able to make it to the chat as it happened live. Now, but I still appreciate you a lot, and you can still join the conversation by dropping some comments down in the comment section below. If you're not here live, then we can still have that conversation. So I answer every single comment that ever goes on any video on my channel, including the live streams. So yeah, you don't have to wait. So while we're waiting for, I can see, I think one person has joined, and I know that Luke Hayes was in the chat just before, saying that he was going to get a drink, maybe a beer or something, I don't know. Today we're drinking water. The 365 water from Whole Foods. And in case anyone was wondering, I probably should answer it while there's some other people like in the chat, but if I've been struggling with my voice the last couple of days, if I found it sound a little bit deeper and a little bit more raspy, it's because I've been losing my voice. All right. So many people have asked for this live stream, yet no one has really joined it when we have gone live. I know that Swanee Brews, who I was just messaging before, was keen for this at least. This is the kind of behavior that exaggerates to me why Swanee Brews has not got or not been bestowed upon with the wrench, the blue wrench, on the Chuck Van channel as yet. But like I said, I think that this live stream, I really just would love to do a Q&A and kind of talk about the amazing adventure that's been my USA trip so far. Although, if we don't have anyone joining, then it may be a very short conversation. Very short indeed. Because we've had so many things that have happened, so many places that we've been. I'd love to talk about where we are now and what we've been doing the last day or so. Love to talk about, well, not so much want to talk about what's happening next, because that involves me kind of going home. I'm getting ready to leave the US, which is going to be a very sad day for me, but still have a couple of days left here. I wonder if anyone can even see this chat. Like, it's not private, is it? It shouldn't be. I know Luke was in here. Wonder if I can actually find it. Because I've been on here for 5 minutes and not one person is here. Nope, I'm live now, apparently. and just because I've been on here for 5 minutes and no one seems to be wanting to join us. What a shame. All right, I'm gonna kick it on here for just a little bit longer, and I guess if no one joins in the next minute or so, then we've got someone finally. G'day, Robert. How are you? Rob Fowler says g'day from the Gold Coast. Hello, welcome to the chat. I was getting close to. I've been here by myself for like the last 5 minutes. I thought the amount of people that were messaging me to say, when are you doing a live stream? Let's have a live stream. And people seemed hyped on it on the El Stacker live stream yesterday. Yet now I have one and no one is here. So I guess maybe because it's a Saturday afternoon over here, Sunday morning for Australia. Maybe that could be an explanation as to people's tardiness, but we shall see. I've got a couple. All right, we've got people joining now. That's good. Coglio knows. G'day, Phil. How are you? Good to see you. So I guess on the live stream today, I really just wanted to do a bit of an update on the trip, a bit of a Q&A. Happy to take any questions from anyone who wants to know anything. But right now I'm live streaming from my my glorious motel room in Park City, Utah. So, well, not Park City, actually Salt Lake City, Utah, which is close to Park City. And Park City was where I was yesterday. Had my first day ever riding Park City, and I was pretty impressed. It's a pretty big mountain. What are you up to, Coglio knows? Where are you watching from? Though I think you just dropped out. So Robert Fowler asks, going well over here, how's the trip been? Well, aside from my voice, which for some reason I'm losing, it's been a hectic trip. A lot of fun, a lot of activity, a lot of snowboarding, a lot of traveling. I think the last time I was on a live stream, I think was El Stacker's live stream. We were in Pennsylvania, in Millersville, and since then I've been a whole bunch of different places. I've been to New York City, been to Round Top Resort, I've been to Play to Kill, which was the snowboarders only event. And I've been to Mount Snow. I've met up with Jose Batista, met up with Casey Willax and Brian Daly, been to Jackson Hole, and Park City. So it's been quite the adventure. So been with a crew for most of the time, up until recently though. So 2 days ago, Jose and I parted ways, and we headed off to, he headed back to Jackson Hole, and then they had another day there. And then I grabbed a rental car and drove, it was about 5 hours to Utah. Okay, and YouTube is now telling me that no one is watching. I love it. Do we have anyone in the chat? Is anyone out there? All right. The whole reason why I like to, Robert's still here. The driving over here, it was interesting. So thanks, Robert. I appreciate you. YouTube must be lying. It said that no one was watching. It said one person is watching, but that that also includes, I think, me. That's I've got the chat window open in another box. Red's here. G'day, Red. How are you? Thanks for joining us. So there's a couple of major differences driving in the USA versus Australia. What does he say? Glad to see you're still in the A. I've noticed likes have disappeared from some. Yeah, YouTube does some funny things. At the moment it's telling me that I have 3 likes and 3 viewers. Interesting. But in any case, oh yeah, we've got Kenny on board. So looks like we've got some people joining us now. I was worried. I was literally about to end the stream because no one was here. And the whole fun of doing this is to have a conversation. So I'm not going to just sit here and talk to myself. But back to Robert Fowler's question. There's a couple of major differences, obviously, between driving in the USA and driving in Australia. The 2 major ones being that you are driving on the right side of the road, not the left side of the road, and when it's a 2-way road, but also the steering wheel is on the opposite side of the car. So in Australia, the steering wheel of the car is on the right side. It's the right-hand drive, and in America, that's all left-hand drive. So driving on the right side of the road was actually not that much of a challenge. I've actually driven in the States before, like back in 2015, because driving is driving. I've done a lot of driving. I actually drive for a living. It's my job back home. So I think the biggest challenge, honestly, is the steering wheel being on the different side of the car. So driving on the left side of the car versus driving on the right, it kind of makes it a lot more difficult to keep your position on the road, because I'm used to moving the steering wheel a certain way to keep the car kind of centered on the road. And if I use the same reference point when I'm on the opposite side of the car, I'm going to be way in a different lane or kind of running off the road. So the tendency is to be positioned more to the right, because that's what I'm used to doing. But after a bit of practice, then that kind of has come good. Kenny says that it's nice to see me. It's good to see you in the chat. Yo, right back at ya. Coglio knows, says that he's been here for a while in the US. I know that. Interesting. The Syndicate, aka Old Man Shredder, is telling me that he's in the chat, but his comments aren't showing. That's interesting. Nobody else seems to be having that trouble. Maybe you could close the live chat, or go back into the video, or refresh it. Maybe that'll help, because I'd love to have your comments. Robert Fowler asks, did you turn right? Did you turn right on a red light? Feels so weird. It does. So there's that's one thing that I noticed. There's a few like different rules as well. So because in Australia, or at least in New South Wales where I'm from, you are permitted to turn left at a red light after stopping, provided there is a sign that says you can do that. Whereas in most areas of the United States, you can turn right, which is kind of the same turn, on red at any time, unless there's a sign that says that you can't. So, or a traffic signal. But Old man Shredder says, give me 5 minutes. All right, we'll see ya. We'll see you soon, mate. Red says, YouTube hating on snowboarders now. I hope not. Because the YouTube community is so awesome, and there's so many legends out there making YouTube videos and watching YouTube videos and meeting each other through YouTube videos, and that's kind of why I'm here and why I do this. Otherwise, I'd just be a guy who likes snowboarding, and I'd be, you know, no one would know. I would just be doing my regular job most of the time and going snowboarding when I can, and not being able to share that with anybody. So I love the fact that I can kind of share a little bit of my experiences on here. And that's the beauty of YouTube. So cool. Coglio knows, glad to see you still in the States. Been here for a while now. Wish I had a better notice so I could have planned to meet up. So that's one thing that I have kind of learned from this trip is, you know, we thought it would be fun to kind of keep it a secret. Obviously those who were in the know and people that had to know because I was staying with them or traveling with them were aware that I was coming. And most of the people that I was meeting up with knew ahead of time. But and I wanted to keep it that way because the reality was that if I was saying I'm coming to the United States, you know, 2 months ago, then I know at least another 5 or 6 people that were in totally different parts of the US would have wanted to meet up, and you're one of them. It was probably more than that. I don't know, but the reality is that I just couldn't financially or logistically be able to cover that much territory and have that many stops on the trip. Already I've had way more stops than what I originally planned. But the next time I do travel to the US, the plan will be to be a bit more open about when I'm coming. Well, actually, when I travel anywhere, actually, to be honest, be a bit more open with when I'm coming, where I'm going. So it'll give more people an opportunity to kind of to link up. So I know a few people might have changed their plans a little bit to kind of be where I was, and that's a bit of a missed opportunity. So Coglio knows says makes sense, don't want to hurt too many feelings. I don't want to hurt anyone's feelings, but the reality is I don't have any sponsors or anything like that. This is basically me recording my holiday. So you know, it's everything I do is coming either at my expense or with the gracious assistance of some of my friends. So this trip couldn't have happened without a lot of couch crashing and people being really generous with their time and being able to like do things like help drive me to places, you know, crash on a couch or in a spare room or on an airbed or something like that. So I'm very grateful for all of those people, but I would like to do more trips in the future. My goal definitely is in the Australian summer, at least once a year, I'd like to do a snowboarding trip. So in summer, there's no snow in Australia anywhere. We don't even have any indoor places. So that means traveling overseas. And the US has a lot of resorts, and I've got a lot of friends over here. So that was why I chose this trip this time. But wow, what a trip it's been. Did someone ask a question about Jackson? Yeah. Kenny says Jackson Hole looks so sick, and Jackson Hole was. There's one of the places that I have to talk about because we just went there. Was there a couple of days ago, and Jackson is no joke. It's like a huge mountain. I think the peak is a bit over 10,000 feet. Obviously there's Corbett's Couloir, and that's kind of what it's known for, is Corbett's and the Kings and Queens of Corbett's event, and natural selection, and also you know, the big red, the big tram that takes you to the top. But Jackson is a lot more than that as well. Like, Jackson is legit. If you take all of those things away, Jackson's still an amazing mountain. Got a lot of it's funny the way different resorts will rate their terrain, but there's a lot of blues on that map that I would probably think need to be a darker shade. Very dark blues, and the blacks and double blacks are pretty heavy up there as well. So a lot of steep terrain, big mountain, lots of traverses. So if you like riding cat tracks, it's a good mountain. If there's a few beginner and like green areas, but to be honest, not very many. It's quite limited, the lower mountain. But if you're just beginning, you don't need much. So there's enough of a pitch to learn on if you're wanting to go there. But there's probably cheaper mountains to be going to learn to snowboard at. So, but yeah, it's an amazing place. I had so much fun, and got into the trees a fair bit. We didn't have like a heap of powder, but they did get some fresh snow on the second day that I was there, and I got some really nice tree runs in, which I had my mouthpiece in for the GoPro, so I'll be eventually making a video about that. Red says, hope you can make it back to Bogus on your next trip. Was hoping to catch up with you at El Stacker, but schedules didn't work out. Yeah, it's a shame, man. I wanted to, it would have been great to meet you. I met a bunch of people while I was at Bogus, and it was an all-time mountain. It's definitely one of my highlights of the trip, going to Bogus Basin. It exceeded my expectations for sure, and getting to hang out with El Stacker was amazing. I was with him for like 2 weeks. He traveled with me across to the East Coast as well, so got a bunch of time in at Bogus Basin, enough for me to say I really liked that mountain and I would love to come back. So hopefully we can meet up then. So let's see what's happening. Interesting. Mark's saying the video chat doesn't work, which is strange because so many other people are in here. Very, very odd. All right, do we have any other questions? Oh, Luke Hayes is back. G'day, Luke. How are you going on the Largo? Now, have you got the hang of it? Yeah, that's a really good question, because over on the East Coast, I think I mentioned this on El Stacker's live stream like 2 weeks ago, the last one that I was on, when we were at Round Top Resort. I had a bit of a crash, and it was not because of the Largo snowboard. It was 100% because of me and my sloppy techniques. But I went to do a heel side carve and changed edges too early, caught the rear heel, and as I was still going across the fall line, and copped a pretty nasty heel edge, and came down on my lower back. Okay. So came down on my lower back pretty hard, and it was sore for quite a while. So the Largo board definitely has humbled me in ways that I wasn't expecting, because it's the first like true full camber board that I've ridden, and I've always had boards that have been a little bit hybrid. Hey, Swanee Brews has finally made it. Good to see you, buddy. Good morning, good afternoon, wherever you guys are, and whatever time it is, wherever you're watching from. But back to that question. Yeah, so the Largo board, which is in the corner just behind me here, is very responsive, very light, has great pop, but very hooky. So and that's reminiscent of it. That's what a full camber board is and what it does. So yeah, I would say I'm definitely getting used to it. But that crash that I had definitely affected my confidence a fair bit. So I was it's a shame that for some reason old man Shredder can't be on here, because I know that he probably would have been asking me questions. So I had a big chat with him and a few others this morning regarding just, you know, if you've ever been out there and you've had like a pretty bad crash and it's really rattled kind of your confidence, because that's what happened to me. And for this whole trip I've probably been well, actually I think old man Shredder is actually still watching, because he's sending me messages on Facebook. And he's saying full camber is another beast, but when you get it working, it's the ride that you need. Yeah, I agree. So it's but I think what that crash kind of did to me was kind of set me back and put me in a little bit of a rut. So most of the riding that I've been doing on this trip has been pretty well dialed down, because I've been worried about having another kind of crash like that and properly hurting myself. Yeah. Old man Shredder says that he's watching, even though he can't really participate in the chat. So that's good to know. So yeah, it did rattle my confidence a fair bit. So I've really gone back to basics with my riding, back to just feeling those edges, trying to make good carve turns, and a lot of just kind of getting the basics dialed in, I guess. So have I totally mastered the Largo yet? No. Am I giving up? Also no. So one, it's the only twin board that I have with me, so I can't really hot swap it out. But at the same time, I feel like if I can, you know, really master that board and feel comfortable with it, then I can ride just about anything. So yeah, I think I'd like to put a fair few more days on that Largo before I say I'm truly fully confident with it. Swanee and Luke are saying hi to each other. Luke says that he's only just starting to get into full camber boards. It's totally different. I wouldn't say it's totally different. The principles of riding is the same. It's just a little bit less forgiving. So if you make a mistake, the board will punish you. And you know, if you're snowboarding, then I think probably to a lesser degree than board sports like surfing and skateboarding, but you know, having falls and having a little bit of pain go with the learning process is just part of what snowboarding is. And not everyone takes to it is sending 50-foot jumps and you know, riding switch straight away and doing gnarly rails and huge big tricks, or stuff that you see like in the X Games, or even stuff that you see like, you know, Casey, TJ, Janice, like all these people doing on YouTube. You know, your average rider isn't doing that stuff. So you know, even just doing S-turns can be difficult for some people, and I'm one of those people. Doing them well, I guess I should say, proper carving, not just skidded turns. Although in some respects, proper carving can be easier than skidder turns, or make your time on the mountain easier. But skidder turns also have a place. So if you're doing a really steep terrain, then you can't do proper carves. You have to use skidder turns, otherwise you will not ever slow down. Oh no. Here we go, I'm back. Jumping in between. So nobody else can see it, but old man Shredder says that we all fall from time to time. We just don't always show it in the videos. Robert had 2 nasty crashes yesterday, and he had one half bad one, and we all have them. Also from time to time, Robert and I are pushing 50 days a season. Yeah, when you've got a lot of time on snow, you're gonna have a lot of crashes. It's just the way it is. So anyway, Adventurer Carlo has joined us. Good to see you. Thank you for joining us in the chat. He says it's adventure time, and I say let's go. So for those who have joined recently, so I'm wanting to do a bit of an update on the trip and a Q&A as we go. A bunch of people have been asking questions just randomly throughout the chat, so I'm going to get to everyone's question. I want to answer every comment that goes in here. Also, I want to talk a little bit about the trip and why I'm really raspy in the voice. I've been struggling with, I don't know why, because I haven't been doing a lot of talking, but maybe I haven't been doing enough talking, or maybe I've been screaming yo and let's go too much, but you can't ever do too much of that. But yeah, I'm losing my voice, so please bear with me. The live streams involve like a lot of talking, so I'll go for as long as I can. If my voice is dying, then I might have to call it. But we've done half an hour. The goal will be to do at least an hour on here today. So Luke Hayes says that he tends to find he catches a lot of edges. Look, and it really comes down to technique, honestly. So if you keep the downhill edges out of the snow, then you won't catch. Simple as that. Yet it's not simple at all. Funnily enough. Luke Hayes also said, how's your gear holding up after riding for the 3 weeks? That's a really good question. My gear's holding up really well. So I've had the opportunity to wax and tune snowboards a couple of times. I actually brought only the bare bones of my tuning setup with me. So I brought a gummy stone, a couple of diamond stones. I brought a scraper. I brought my snowboard tool so I could swap bindings, because I only brought one set of bindings on this trip. So I've had to switch them between boards a couple of times, so I needed the snowboard tool. But other than that, and my brushes, the Send It Syndicate has made it. Martin, it's good to see you. And Jose Bautista, the man himself, is here in the chat. It's good to see you again, even though in text form, even though I only saw you like 2 days ago. Yes, Martin, I can see you. Your comments are showing. That's awesome. So I feel happy that we've got the full crew, and I'm not having to go between Facebook Messenger. So Jose's asking what he missed. We did a bit of a detailed breakdown on my fall that I had at Round Top, and kind of the hit that it's taken to my confidence, and kind of what I'm doing to get back in the game and get out there again. So we talked a bit about that. We haven't talked much about the trip per se, other than to say that I'm right now in Salt Lake City. So we'll get into that in a minute. But I just want to go back to, was it Luke's question? Martin says he had to get into the extra channel. Extra channel? I've only got one channel that I know of. But I bet Swanee's going to ask Jose whether he's drunk the beers yet. Because Jose, I'm pretty sure, is home now. Swanee, just saying. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. I know that the beers weren't drunk before we left the Jackson Hole. So sorry, Jose, I'm throwing you under the bus a little bit there. But Jose's not necessarily. He's more of a hard liquor guy than a beer guy. The extra channel. He's on. Oh, you're on the Send It Syndicate channel. So for some reason you couldn't get on with the original Old Man Shredder / Send It Syndicate channel. Okay, I get you. That's really weird. Yeah, Jose doesn't get alerts. And he's going to drink the beers tomorrow, maybe? We'll see. We'll see. But yeah, so back to my outerwear and how it's holding up. It's holding up fine. So I've been wearing a mix of two things. So I've been using the Board Archive Tech hoodie quite a lot this trip. In fact, I've worn it almost every day on snow that it hasn't been raining or snowing. And when it has been raining or snowing, I've been wearing one of two jackets. My Burton shell, and I've got a 686 shell that was gifted to me that came from a special place. So and I've only worn those a couple of times, so nothing to report there. I want to do a full review, I guess, of or at least kind of a breakdown or my thoughts video on the Board Archive Tech hoodie and what I think of it and how it's held up riding. But the short version of that is I'm very impressed with it. It's a very versatile bit of gear that I know a lot of people, it's going to sting a lot of people because they wanted one and couldn't get one. But if and when TJ does drop more of those tech hoodies, I'd recommend getting on there, going out and getting one. That's going to be the breakdown of the video, honestly. But I think I will make that video anyway, because it's been a great bit of kit. But boots are holding up well. The boards are fine. A few more scratches on the Yes the Y, which was the powder board that I brought. So I used that at Jackson Hole. But no, everything's holding up quite well. So no complaints. Let's have a look at some of these comments. What do we got? Yeah. Kenny is complimenting Jose on his Insta stories. Actually, that's something, it's probably been difficult to track where I am and what I've been doing for the last probably half a week, actually, because I've been posting a bunch of stuff, which is photos from when I was in New York City. And I posted one today, but for the last 2, maybe 3 days, I haven't been able to post anything on Instagram. Something was going wrong with my app. And I didn't realize it was just, I was posting and it was taking forever and nothing was getting up that I was trying to post, and it was the most frustrating thing in the world. But today I decided to uninstall the app from my phone and then reinstall it, and all of a sudden everything's working. So I've been able to post. So that's why you haven't seen any stories from me. But I guess that we can have a chat about some stuff. So I'm now in where am I? I'm in Salt Lake City in Utah, and yesterday I had my first day at Park City. So originally yesterday was going to be the day that I was flying home back to Australia. But I decided that seeing as how I was flying out of Salt Lake City, that and that is like so uber close to Park City, and Park City is on the Epic Pass, then I couldn't just be so close and not go. So I decided to push back my flight a couple days so that I could do a couple days at Park City. So I was there yesterday, and it is a massive mountain with a whole bunch of varied terrain. They've got steep, and there's a bunch of different peaks. It's so much bigger than what I ever thought it would be. The terrain park is really big. I'm yet to find the small terrain park. There's like the Chuck size terrain park, but it's a really impressive mountain. And I only had the time yesterday to really scratch the surface. I was on the mountain village side, and I trekked around most of the runs there, and then went all the way to the top, did a really steep tree run, and went all the way back down. So I plan to spend a couple more days at Park City before I fly out, and that's kind of the rest of the trip. So probably what we need to talk about, we've talked a little bit about Jackson Hole already, and that place is no joke. Really steep, and even without things like the tram and Corbett's Couloir, it would be an epic mountain. And we had some really fun tree runs there, and I can't wait to make the video with all of my like mouthpiece POV cam. But I think the main thing that people on here may be wanting to hear about is the Mount Snow part of the trip. Am I right? I think Send It Syndicate says, give us the breakdown of the Mount Snow scenario. Because for those of you who don't know, and I can't imagine any of you wouldn't know by now, that we are, that I guess it was about just over a week ago now, we were at Mount Snow. When I say we, I was with Board Through the Pain at the time, and El Stacker. So we were traveling together. We traveled to Mount Snow through an insane snowstorm, and we thought this is going to be awesome. And we arrived at Mount Snow, and we rode for the day, and it was a crazy day, that first day at Mount Snow. So we had an Airbnb that was right basically in the village, which was awesome and cost way too much money, but it was so worth it. And it was the craziest day because I got every single snow condition that I've ever seen, all in one day on one mountain. It was so crazy. So, you would go, and Mount Snow is a much bigger mountain than it's not on the same level of, say, Park City or Jackson, but on the east coast of all the mountains I visited, it was the biggest. I know there's bigger ones like Killington, I think J Peak, Stowe, are much bigger resorts, but yeah, it exceeded my expectations. We went up the chairlift, and they run the chairlift so fast. I've never been to a resort where the chairlifts are spinning, like they've got them cranked to get people doing quick laps, which is really cool, I guess. But there was 3 inches of fresh powder on top of a boilerplate. So you sneak off, and you'd go and you'd see it looks like this really nice snow, and you'd go make a turn, and then as soon as you turn, you would hit the bottom, and it's just sheet ice right underneath that fresh snow, and you hear and very easy for your edge to slip out. So you've got to do a lot of you can't lean too hard. You've got to kind of twist steer. That was gnarly. And then the bottom, it was slush. At the top, it was like firm hard pack, and then there were sections where it was just exposed sheet ice. So every condition that you could think of, all in one day. But the second day at Mount Snow, we had to pack all of our stuff up, and I've been sending a couple of messages in the days leading up to Brian Daly, and sometimes Daly messages back, sometimes he doesn't. But in this instance, the morning before, not only did he message back, but I had a video call with him, and he said, "Oh, we're trying to get up there. Casey's keen to have a rest day though. Don't know if we're going to make it. We're printing some posters." So you would have seen in the vlog that they printed some posters for the tour, and we were trying to get him to turn up. Had been messaging him for weeks. They knew that we were kind of there, and we thought the schedule would line up, and it turns out that they were going to be riding, their plan to ride Mount Snow was going to be the following day on the Saturday. Obviously, most of you have seen the video. We did actually meet up with them, and the video came out yesterday, but it actually happened the Friday prior, like exactly a week before. Pardon me, the video came out, and but during the day we were under the impression that they may show up, they may not show up. Who knows what's going to happen, because those boys' schedule is just crazy. But even if I didn't see any of them, I was happy with the trip. I didn't come to America with the expectation that I was going to run into any YouTuber other than El Stacker, and I knew I was going to run into him because I was traveling with him, but had zero expectations. Then later then Jose turned up, and we El Stacker, Jose, and myself, we went riding. So Jose, if he's still in the chat, we went riding that day at Mount Snow. We did a couple of laps around the mountain, and we all had to split up. So El Stacker was going back with Board Through the Pain to Pennsylvania. I was going to New York City with Jose, and all this had been pre-arranged. We had flight schedules and accommodate different things that we had to be in certain places. So we had to leave Mount Snow that afternoon, and we were all prepared. Oh yeah, Jose's still here. Good to see. And we were all prepared to leave. We'd had our runs, and then we're like, okay, I guess we're gonna have to call it then. Then I can't remember who it was. It was someone looked over in the car park, and there was the Navi. We were down at the Corinthia Lodge, at the bottom of the Corinthia Parks area of the mountain, and there was the Navi, and there was Daly getting out of it, having a chat with some guy that pulled up in the car. So obviously we went over there, and we had a chat with them all. Daly was Casey was literally in the Navi for 40 minutes doing an epic stretching session, while we all kind of hung around out the front. And there were some people coming and going and whatnot. Casey finally came out, and well, I guess if you've watched the video, you know what happens next. So it was a great reunion. Obviously, I hadn't seen Jose for 2 years before that day. Neither basically had El Stacker, and it was 2 years prior that we'd last seen Daly and Casey when they crashed with us in Japan, and it was couldn't be more grateful, because I was actually I think a lot of it is in Casey's vlog. I can't believe how much he left in of our chat, but I had to thank him for the shout out in the Bombhole podcast, and he did this whole cool little flashback and transition thing to from what I was saying to him about what happened back then and what's happening now, and what happened in the Bombhole interview. And it was so so surreal actually just being there in the moment. Casey, and I've just got to say a shout out to Casey and to and to Daly, because I'm pretty sure that those guys weren't planning on riding that day, and they would never say this, but I'm fairly certain the only reason they turned up at Corinthia that day was because they knew that we were there, and so that they could get a few clips riding with us, and so that we could get a few clips with them, and so that we could say hi. So I'm eternally grateful for that. It was an amazing afternoon, definitely a highlight of the trip. Not the only highlight. I've enjoyed this whole experience. It's been so good, but yeah, we hit the mountain. We did a bunch of laps through the Nitro Park, which is just so much bigger. It's so big and so far beyond me in terms of actually hitting. I think there's maybe one or two hittable features in that thing for me, but it was epic. So what an amazing afternoon, and I guess the only story that I could tell that you wouldn't necessarily realize from watching the video was we basically each got to have a run with Casey and Daly, and you know, we got to hang out for a little bit and chat, and you know, those guys, their generosity in giving their time, their patience, and they're so good with their fans, and they're just like real life people. Like, you know, the guy's nearly got 100,000 subscribers, and so many people that are like, yo, what up, Casey? And for them to take the time out for us meant something. It was pretty special. So you know, even getting to take a run with Casey was pretty heavy. And not only that, but well, I suppose I could probably, I don't know if I should say that maybe some of the clips that you saw in that video were shot by this guy right here. One or two. Let's get back. So that was a pretty heavy breakdown just now, but it was such an amazing day. Let's get back into some of these comments. So you asked for it, old man Shredder. It's here. Jose said the Casey video was epic. Yeah, it definitely was. Luke Hayes says, I'd have to say you meeting up with the boys has to be the highlight of your trip so far for me. Well, it's got to have been the highlight. If not the highlight, it was definitely a high point for sure. Coglio Knows says, was an epic vid. Glad to see you guys in it. We were stoked to be in it. In fact, I was very, very surprised in how much we were in it. Like basically the whole first part of it was featuring us, and for someone who doesn't take compliments very well or anything, that, you know, for someone who puts himself out there on YouTube like I do, I'm actually a pretty shy person, strangely enough. But yeah, it's not my most comfortable place, but was definitely an awesome experience for sure. Collier No says it's crazy. It's crazy when the boys are around. The sticker collection on your board was a sick clip. Yeah, it was funny because the Largo was unstickered before this trip, and I raided my sticker collection and pulled everything out, and was like, the board mostly was covered in snow, which actually was pretty funny. El Stacker Adventures is in the chat. Bro, you just missed. I just did the whole breakdown of the Mount Snow thing. I was just talking about the whole day and the whole experience and Casey's video and how nuts it was. But welcome to the chat. what was I even talking about? The stickers, that's right. So the stickers on the board, I used my last Overstoked sticker. I think it was my last DWCP sticker. I only, so all of my favorite stickers went on that board. And you know, at the time I really wasn't expecting to meet Casey or meet up with anyone. I just like putting stickers on my boards. You can ask anyone who knows me. Most of my boards, actually, except for my Yes the Why, that is stickerless, strangely enough, and I did ride that board. But yeah, I completely cover most of my boards in stickers, and it just had every single one of them, and I was like pointing them out. I mean, you if you watch Casey's video, you'll see I was going, oh, have a look at this sticker, have a look at that sticker, and he was looking at he was uncovering the stickers that were covered in snow. He goes, oh, there's a David Jones, there's the Oof sticker, you know, there's a Tommy Bennett sticker, and then I went, hang on, you missed one, and uncovered the Avo Apparel sticker, which actually I'd been saving that sticker for a long time. I've just been waiting for the right thing to put it on, and it just felt right that, because I only had one of those, I purchased a jacket. Oh no, not a jacket, a hoodie. Actually, I'm wearing the Avo Apparel now. Where is my hoodie gone? I think it's over here. There it is. This one. When I purchased this hoodie, I want to say 2 years ago now, this hoodie came with that Avo Apparel sticker that's on the Largo just behind me. Actually, you can see it kind of there, I think. I decided to put it on. I'm glad I did. Yeah. Coglio, what do we got? Coglio knows, says, he brings the Stoke and us together. Couldn't agree more. Those videos are awesome. And as you would know, so I know you've met Casey as well, you know, the guy is every bit the man that you see in the videos, and brings just as much Stoke, and is very quick-witted, I must say. Kenny on board says Salt Lake City should be getting snow Sunday or Monday. That is good to know, because Sunday is tomorrow, and I plan to be riding tomorrow afternoon and probably Monday as well. So the mountain the snow actually is in pretty good nick, the snowpack, but it is hard packed and firm up top. Up top there was a bit of fresh stuff the other day, sun-baked but fresh-ish, and down the bottom it progressively just gets slushier and slushier as you go down. Swanee's making a really obtuse comment saying that he didn't know I liked stickers. You lie, sir. Respectfully, I declare that you lie. And I think I saw Bad Riders in the chat. It's good to see that you made it. It was a pretty slow start to the live stream, actually. Like, literally, I was on here for 10 minutes basically talking to myself and Robert Fowler, and I was literally about to just call it and say, sorry, no one's turning up, so I'm not going to sit here talking to myself. And then now everyone started turning up, and we've been going for an hour, and I'm not ready to call it yet. So if you guys are okay with it, I might just keep the live chat rolling. If you guys don't mind, let me know. Go back to some of these comments. Coglio knows, says, unfortunately I prefer other parts of the mountain than Casey's gang rides on. No park laps for me. Yeah, I'm kind of like that too in some ways. Like my riding level, like, you know, for someone who loves snowboarding as much as I do, you know, I'm not the best rider out there, and I actually do a lot of the things I do are quite mellow, definitely compared to Casey and the gang, and I prefer to kind of explore the mountain myself as well, but I am also interested in the park. So where I'm more at the baby park level than the nitro level, having said that. But Mount Snow actually has some really good terrain to offer. So if you like it steep, they've got steep. If you like green and blue, they've got those as well. And it's one of those mountains that has like 360 degree, like you go to the top and you can do all the front face, and there's a lot of terrain there, but there's a whole backside to the mountain as well that actually, when it has good snow in it, I'd like to go back and explore a little bit more. Let's see, what have I missed? Let's see. Oh no, that's where I was up to. Everyone's saying hi to El Stacker. El Stacker's saying, "Oh my god, what a video!" The Casey vid. Yeah, I was pretty stoked. I literally was coming down off the mountain. Send It Syndicate. Old Man Shredder was sending messages saying, "The boys are in Casey's vlog. The boys are in the edit." And I was like, I was literally just came down like one of the steepest runs I've ever done in my life at the top of Park City, and was literally doing like I don't know, it must have been at least a 3 or 4 kilometer long cat track to get to the chairlift. I needed to go back up to another peak to then go down to get to the car park. So I kind of had to, and it was the end of the day and I was worried that lifts were going to shut and I wouldn't get back. So I had to like nip down real quick. So I couldn't watch it straight away. But when I got to the car, I just sat in there and watched it. It was so good. Coglio Knows said that he rode with Daly for an hour or so. Geez, that's awesome, man. You've rode with him more than I have in my whole life. But only in the vlog for 5 seconds. I don't rate park, so it wasn't clip worthy. Just was just grateful nonetheless. Yeah, I mean, if you get the chance to make any appearance in the vlog, I mean, those boys are trying to, I mean, Casey's trying to stoke out everyone, and the reality is that most of the groms out there and most of the younger riders just want to see tricks. They want to see park riding. They want to see big jumps. They want to see, 360s. They want to see like tweaked grabs, methods. They want to see, they want to see tame dogs and backflips and stuff. The likes of you and me doing S-turns probably isn't going to turn them on, but I think I actually got one riding clip in the video where I blow past the camera once with the selfie pole in my hand. Other than the parts that I was behind the camera and the saying hello and goodbye at the end when we left, or that was in the middle of the video, I think. Yeah, I didn't get much screen time. I think I got like, in the first time I was in CVLOGs, maybe 2 or 3 seconds of screen time. And I was the most stoked I've ever been. You gotta love any time. It's good to see yourself, but it's also good that people get stoked. And I think that's the best part of having this kind of community, is that, we can interact. And it's possible for us to interact with the YouTubers that we love, they are so great, generous and gracious with their time to allow that to happen. And not only that, but it's a community where not only are they interacting with us and trying to present value in the whether it be from motivation, stoke, tips on how to ride, gear advice and reviews, like products that we want to buy, such as stickers and merch and all that kind of stuff. They're presenting that value, but they're also creating this community where like-minded, like people like us, the Chuck Vans and the El Stackers and the Coglio Knows and the Send It Syndicate. Like all of us can, if it wasn't for this YouTube thing, none of us would have ever known each other. None of us would have ever seen each other. and you know, I can see big things happening for this community, and there's a whole bunch of people out there that I never knew that I now can't wait to meet and ride with. So that includes everyone that's on here. So it's my goal to make that happen one day. To say hi, take a lap, love to do it. I know, it gives me a nice warm feeling. All right. The Bad Rider says, Chuck bro, we need to talk about, I don't know, I'm just stoked I made it. There's plenty of things to talk about. So far I'm checking my list. We've covered where I am now and what I'm doing. So Utah and Park City. What's happening next in the next couple of days. I'm going to Park City. I think I have 2 more days and then I'm going home. We've discussed at length the CVLOGs appearance recently, and yesterday's video. We've discussed Jackson Hole a little bit too. I guess we've discussed riding the East Coast a little bit. We haven't really touched much on Plattykill Mountain or Round Top, or Board Through the Pain. So that's something to talk about. And some time I spent in New York City. So still a couple of things to touch on. But there's a bunch of comments. So I said I'd answer everyone's comments. So I'm going to get stuck into them now. Chuck's wearing glasses. Yo! Chuck does wear glasses when he wants to read and not like immediately fall asleep. Senate Syndicate, the top surface on his DWD Wizard stick won't allow the stickers to stick. Yeah, if the dinosaurs will die, Wizard stick. That sucks. Jones boards as well, because most Jones boards have that textured base. I know Swanee's Mind Expander will not, you can't stick anything to it. I don't think even stomp pads will stick to it, much less stickers. So, did you get to ride the other side of Park City, says El Stacker Adventures? No, I only had half a day. So I got up there yesterday and it was, I think, already 1 p.m. by the time I got on the snow. Given the amount of time that I had, and I rode until close. So, I saw basically all of the mountain village side. Not every run, but most of it, the main parts of it. So there's a whole other side, which is 3/4 of the mountain that I have yet to explore. So that will be hopefully tomorrow afternoon. Won't be tomorrow morning. I do have to get up early tomorrow, but that's because I need to go to the airport and get my COVID test. Otherwise, Australia won't let me back in. But as soon as that's done, I'm up at the mountain. Luke Hayes, hey, Bad Riders. Yeah, he's telling Adam he's got to watch it back. They're all joking about whether I like stickers or not. I think that has already been asked and answered. El Stacker says my room looks nice. Believe you me, this is the most flattering angle of it. And I've tried to like place some props in the background too. Like, I know that, I mean, I don't have any sponsors or anything, but, you know, I did what I could. So I placed, obviously, my snowboard, my boots, which I need to put back together because they were drying. The helmet's up there. There's a sweater here that actually was a gift, because the boys in the Na'vi had basically no merch. I scored a bunch of like the new style of the Overstoked sticker, and I am bringing so many of those back to Australia. It's not funny. So the boys have a mission to like plaster Overstoked like all over the resorts in Australia, and that's what we're going to do, and just try and stoke people out this season. But of all that he had, this was basically all that he had to give me other than stickers. And I'm pretty stoked with the Overstoked sweater. It's pretty sweet. L Stacker Adventures is asking, has everyone smashed the like button? Well, we've got 11 likes and 10 viewers, so pretty stoked on that. Looks like a good ratio to me. But if you haven't already hit the like button, then now might be a good time. What? Oh, I keep calling him Old Man Shredder. Oh my God, what is happening? I was there desperately trying to chat. That was earlier in the stream, I think. Bad Riders politely tapped the like button. L Stacker is at the gym. Yeah, the gym. I missed the gym, L Stacker's gym. We spent way more time in that gym than I care to admit, which is pretty funny. So the Send It Syndicate says, sounds like, I think this is when I was talking about Mount Snow and the very varied conditions. Sounds like Bayas Tabakan, but bigger. If you like steep, we've got 10 seconds of steep. Actually, I don't much. I mean, I don't hate steep. Steeps are fun, you know, a little bit, but they're also very hard on your quads and your legs, and you have to like turn a lot, or you're heel sliding a lot, and you skid your turns. And it's a good challenge to kind of try and pick where's the time to change and what's the time to go heel toe, to get in between the trees and little mogly areas without, you know, sliding all the way down. But I must admit that I have a lot more fun on the blue and the green. Actually, I have some of my most fun on the green runs because it's a mellow pitch, enough for you to get some speed, and you can really lay some calves in on green runs. And you can practice your form. You can do butters. There's lots of things are possible on green runs that aren't on the double blacks. Just saying. I keep losing my spot in the chat. Hell Stacker says, what run? Are you talking to me? Tell me what run you, if you're not talking, I think he's talking to Martin on that one. Coglio, no, it says, Casey got to keep the interest of his viewers in mind, so the park will get the most views overall, plus he's a beast. Yep, exactly what I was saying before. Park City has some scary out of bounds runs, very steep double blacks. Yeah, I actually, on the Mountain Village side, I found those. I went to the, what do they call it? The Jupiter area, which I said in my video that I haven't posted yet. I haven't edited it, hardly anything from this trip, but I said to my GoPro yesterday that it was the highest point on the mountain, but it wasn't. The area, pardon me, the area that I went to was, I think, about 9,500 feet. And there's an area that's over 10,000, but there's no chairlift access. You've got to hike up a ridge, which doesn't look that hard, but there was very similar terrain that I could just drop straight into at the top of the Jupiter lift. And it was a very steep pitch, very tight trees. I chose to go a little bit further along the ridgeline so that I could drop into an area that didn't have as many trees to potentially run into. It was fairly firmly packed snow, so I wasn't really worried about tree wells, but it was very steep. Very steep. Not quite as steep as, or probably on par. That's the other thing about Jackson Hole. Jackson Hole is a very steep mountain. Yeah, but I didn't go to any of the out of bounds areas. Everything I did yesterday was inbounds. Bad riders, would love to see Casey ride some backcountry. If you go back through his videos, he's got a couple of backcountry videos. A couple from a few years ago when he went snowshoeing with Scotty Largo, and they did this backcountry, did this massive Buddha. I think it was in Colorado, in the backcountry, a couple of years ago. One time we went with him without snowshoes too. But Casey's a beast, no matter what kind of terrain he's in. Guy's a maverick. El Stacker says, I just want to see some S-turns. Well, you're in luck, because when I get home and edit all the videos from this trip, there's going to be a lot of S-turns. I hope you're ready for it. The Senate Syndicate says there's a board progression edit featuring Casey doing backcountry when they lost Daly's drone. I actually haven't seen that. I need to go find that. In fact, there's a whole bunch of CVLOG. There's a whole area of CVLOGs videos that I don't know, something was happening in my life at the time, and I kind of just stopped watching YouTube, and and I never went back. So I need to. It's probably in that period that I didn't see. So I need to go back and watch all those videos. Coolio knows, did you find trying to film while riding makes snowboarding harder? Oh, this is a great question. I can ride all day, no issues, but if I film it, I crash nearly every time. Yes. So for me, that is a constant juggling act and struggle, because I love making videos and I love sharing, even though it doesn't seem like I love sharing my adventures, because I tend to hoard so much of my footage and it hasn't been released yet. But and that's not because I want to, it's just because I need to. I just don't prioritize as much as I love doing it. I have other priorities that kind of, come before editing videos, which is kind of my passion project, I guess. I am going to sit down and make sure that the videos from this trip all come out, though. And that we don't have to wait for 3 years to see them. I'm hoping to get most of them out in the next couple months. So I'm going to go hard at it when I get back to Australia in a few days. So hopefully you guys will start seeing some videos from the start of the trip pretty soon. In fact, I plan on working on some of them tonight, and getting a start on that. But the Coglio knows 100% it does. If you're trying to ride and selfie film yourself or film someone else, then it takes a certain percentage of your. So say you've got 100% of concentration, and you're probably using anywhere between, depending on how good and how comfortable a rider you are with what you're doing, anywhere between 50 and maybe 70% of your total concentration on just riding, or trying to do the thing that you're trying to do. And if something else is going on around you, say there's traffic, or you're in a particularly difficult area like a skinny cat track, then all of a sudden it takes more of that concentration. So however much concentration you're using for riding, add about 20% to that. It's going to take up more if you're trying to film. And if you're trying to film with a selfie pole, then not only is it going to tax your concentration, because you're thinking not only about your riding, and you're thinking about where the camera is pointing, you're thinking about what angle you're doing, you're thinking about if you've got a long selfie pole, oh, my arm is getting tired now. You're thinking about what the shot's going to look like. You're thinking about what angle are you at? Are you holding it down, holding it up? Is the camera upside down or not? Is it still pointing at me? Changing hands. All of these things take more concentration, and the reality is that, and also taking a camera on the mountain's a pain in the ass, because if you've most people would use a GoPro or some kind of, whether it's a 360 camera or a DJI or Insta 360, whatever kind of camera you use, you're always thinking about, memory cards. You got to change batteries on the fly. What settings are you recording at? What resolution, frame rates? What field of view setting you need for a particular shot that you want to get. Are you writing? Do you want to talk to the camera? Like, there's so much involved in this. But I think to answer your question, and actually Casey said this in one of his videos really well one time. If you want to film and you want to get good at filming, then you first need to get good at writing. And because you need to have your writing to a level where you're thinking less about the writing so that you have more bandwidth to include the amount of concentration that it's going to take for you to also film. And holding a stick just puts your balance off, and you need to account for that too. So yes, it's harder. And sometimes, like what I'm going to do tomorrow, is sometimes you just need to put the camera down and go ride. And sometimes that's the only way that you're going to progress in your riding to the point where you're going to be more comfortable filming yourself or filming other people, is by just putting the camera down and making it so that you can so that your turns, you don't even think about them, you do them. You can, if you're wanting to film someone else, then you definitely need to be really comfortable riding switch, because someone, if you're filming someone doing a rail, for instance, then if that person is a natural rider and you're also a natural rider, then for you to have a front-on view of them, you're going to have to be riding next to them switch. So you're going to have to be able to turn and follow them and be comfortable doing that. So I hope that answers that question. That was a bit of a rant there. So if you guys don't care about filming, then sorry about that. But interesting question, because it's something I'm pretty passionate about, and something that actually I personally am trying to work on. Is I want to become a better filmer, because I think it's more interesting making a video that involves other people. And on this trip, I think we're going to see we're going to see at least a few clips of other people. So I've filmed a lot of El Stacker, and there'll be a few other special guest writers on the vlog, I hope. Where are we? Bad Riders. Chuck, can you tell us a story from the night on the rum? I'm not entirely sure I know what you mean. Has everyone smashed the like button? I need to find where I was up to. Bad Rider says he might have to do a deep dive into Casey's back catalogue. You really should. Anyone who hasn't been watching Casey from the start, it's actually really interesting. I know it's a big commitment of time, but it's well worth going back to the beginning. I started watching. I started following Casey, it was 4 or 5 years ago. I'm not exactly sure when, but he had already started the vlog. So I didn't start at the very beginning, but as soon as I found him, I went back and I watched everything from the beginning, which had a few parts of him back from like 2012 or something. Then progressively became the vlog that we know it is today. And it's quite interesting to see the progression from that time. And those days when he was park crew at Mount Snow, it's well worth the watch. The early days of the vlog, that's really where it's at. So much fun. Also the New Zealand and Australia trip with Niso, that was pretty good too. El Stacker says that he wants to ride with everyone. Come back to Idaho, he says. I'd love to. I really would. El Stacker's ice experience is a story I'll never forget. Ice Coast for life. I've got to shout that out because when we were at Plattykill Mountain, or Plattykill Mountain, oh, LH Cool Breeze is in the chat. How are you? Sorry, I missed you entering because I was ranting on some kind of story, probably. So it's good to see you in here. I hope you're still here. If I'll get to some questions in the bottom as soon as I can, but I want. Oh, Osvaldo is here. G'day, Osvaldo. I am at. I think I already answered this question a few times, but at the moment I'm in Salt Lake City, Utah, in my motel room, talking to you. Let's see. Keep losing my place in the chat. All right. The El Stacker's Ice Coast experience. I was about to talk about Plattykill, and that was the snowboarders only event. And in Elliot's live stream last night, he was saying about how bad it was, and he's not understating it. It wasn't exactly a boilerplate of sheet ice, but it was not far from it. They had to run the it was at the start of the day. They had to run the snowcat, like the groomers, over the runs they were using 3 times. And if you know anything about snow grooming, that is intense. They had to literally grind up the ice so that it was rideable, and people weren't going to just die. It was pretty intimidating, and the runs were pretty. It was only like 2 runs open, but there was 3 runs open technically, but they were pretty steep, and lots of like literal just ice patches. I'm not talking about. Oh, it's funny. I was on the chairlift with some people who were arguing about the difference between icy and hard pack, and it's an interesting conversation. But it was ice and a little bit of a sugar on top, pretty much. What's going on? I hear Plattykill try to kill you. Bad Riders is talking about Jose dropping that Chuck edit. So Jose could. Jose has a bunch of my footage from Jackson Hole that he could turn into an edit. Are we going to see it? Swatty Brews, Jose, Japan 2023. I can tell you that Jose wants to do it. I can tell you that Chuck wants to do it. And if we can make it a community thing, we should all do it. Niseko, Japan 2023. Late January, early February. Probably more late January. We shall see. But there's much water to go under the bridge before we kind of go there. But that's probably going to be the next big trip. When I go home, we've got, a couple months. So I get home and it's basically April. Snow starts falling, usually around mid-May. And resorts open first or second week in June. So we'll be out there riding before we know it. Ice Coast is insane, says El Stacker Adventures. Respect to the guys riding out there. Yeah, me too. After my trip to the Ice Coast, I used to always like compare Australia conditions and Ice Coast conditions as being fairly similar. They're not. I think Ice Coast is way more. I don't know. There's more convenience, but it's also more challenging. I think the conditions are probably worse in the Ice Coast overall when I'm thinking about it. Sawney says the stomp pad stays, the stickers fell off of the Jones board. Yep. Jose vlog, question mark? Jose needs to answer that question. Actually, he's got the little face. So we'll see what happens there. Kenny says, Chuck, you're an SLC. Go try. Oh, we were talking about that yesterday, actually. Kenny says I should go try In-N-Out Burger. And I'm pretty sure, did someone ask me? I think I saw a comment. It might have been Luke Hayes. It might have been Osvaldo. Might have been Rob Fowler. I don't know. Someone asked me what was for dinner tonight. The answer is In-N-Out Burger. That's what I'm going to be doing for sure. We were talking about it on El Stacker's live stream last night. Swanee says I don't need the Blue Wrench. I get to see Chuck live every day. Not every day. Not for the last 3 weeks. Swanee, are we already there? We are already there. Is he talking about Japan? Because I think he may be true. We are already in Japan in January of 2023. Just hasn't happened yet. But we're there now. Like our body, just waiting for our bodies to catch up to us. Sweater? What? You saw that? Well, maybe you didn't see that sweater actually, because that happened really quickly, right at the end, just before I said goodbye, or we said goodbye to each other. Luke Hayes says I'm going to have to win lotto to keep up with all these trips that you guys are planning. Me too. I'm going to be working like super duper like heavy work when I get home to pay off my credit card for one, and start getting some funds ready for these trips. Bad Riders asks, is the house lonely without Chuck there, Spotty? And have you lit up Chuck's studio and made your own beats yet? He has not. He doesn't know how to. He wouldn't dare to touch any of that stuff. Jose is making jokes with Swanee about going to Japan. That's funny. El Stacker wants to know, did you do some Chuck Bro calves today? I did a couple yesterday. I didn't go snowboarding today. Today was like a rest day. I slept just almost every day of this trip. I've been up early. We've been either going to the mountain or going somewhere, doing something, getting stuff organized. It's just been go. And today, it's a Saturday, so I knew that Park City would just be insane with people. Actually, I think Robert Fowler asked me a question earlier on about lift lines. Yes. I don't think lines have been so bad. I think the lines have been fairly manageable. Most of the places I've been, but we've been avoiding weekends, so there's that. But the mountains themselves have been, in general, probably busier than what I'm used to. And Jose tells me that what I've experienced so far has been pretty mellow. So I guess in general, I'd say the resorts over here are way busier than the Australian ones. I can't remember the question that I was answering. I just got sidetracked on a bit of a tangent there. The Chuck calves, yeah. So yes, I did a couple yesterday. I'm having a rest day today, and I slept in. I had a nice shower. I detangled my hair because it was getting knotted, and I went to Denny's for lunch just before the live stream. And I'm gonna go to In-N-Out Burger. I've been eating like so bad this trip. I'm gonna have to like exercise properly. Old Man Shredder is still my Mockiner. Oh yeah. He's saying that I can still call it Old Man Shredder. Chuck Bro, says Bad Riders. Everyone's saying Chuck Bro. Jose Bautista says, yikes, mongrels. So he knows that that's my term for moguls. So if I see moguls out there, they're mongrels. Park City has the craziest moguls, says El Stacker Adventures. If you don't know how to avoid them, yeah, I've spotted the runs that have moguls like straight up, and I was like staying away. Swanee Brews. It hasn't really been, not really been quiet. And and it's been good not hearing Chuck's daily silent sweaty. As I would often like walk past his room saying that. El Stacker Adventures, what's your steepest run you did at Park City? It was off the Jupiter chair. I can't remember the exact name of it, but it was in the bowl that comes off the Jupiter chair to Skiers Right, and down the ridge, along the ridge a little bit and down. I think it was called like some shoot bowl or something. I can't remember what it was called, but it was off the Jupiter chair. So everything up there is a double black diamond. And I was on the Largo. Robert Fowler was the one that asked what's for dinner tonight, and I've already answered. In-N-Out Burger. Osvaldo, you're only 8 hours away from Colorado. You'll love Vail. I would have so loved to do Colorado this trip. I just couldn't make it work financially. Colorado, like the Colorado area, like I do have an Epic Pass, which would help, but you know, there's logistically it just wasn't, and financially not possible this trip. Definitely on the list though. I definitely want to go there, and when I do, and I mentioned this earlier, but for I think Coglio knows, mentioned it. I intentionally kind of kept this trip a secret. One, because I thought it would be fun to do that, and two, because I knew that there'd be a bunch of people that I didn't want to disappoint anyone, because I knew there'd be people say, oh, come to Colorado, come to this place, come to that place, and the budget would have just blown out too much for the trip if I tried to hit every place. As it is, I probably hit more than I could, I bit off a little bit more than I could chew as it was. And I didn't want to be disappointing anyone, but the next time I do any kind of trip, whether it's the US or somewhere else, I'm going to kind of advertise it ahead of time to give others the opportunity who do want to meet me to maybe travel to where I am. So I might have a rough itinerary out ahead of time the next time I do it. Coglio No says green trails are my favorite, mostly because the runs are the longest, the most slopes, and I'm about getting the most run time. Yeah. I was saying a bit about that before. Yeah, bad riders. Yeah, without your pie chef on site, how have you had to fix when you're in business? That's bad riders giving Swanee a bit of a bit of curry there. Bad Rider saying it's a worthy vid for the Chuck Guives. Chuck versus the Yellow Jackets of Vail. A lot of the resorts that I've been riding at have been Vail-owned resorts, or Vail-run resorts. And the Yellow Jackets haven't given me any trouble yet. So I have seen a few Yellow Jackets, but no dramas there. Elstack is saying he did an out-of-bounds run at Park City, and it was the steepest he's ever seen. I don't know, man. If you came out to Jackson Hole, you would have seen a pretty steep run. We went up the top of the tram, and there was a run. It's kind of near Corbett's, but it's not anything like Corbett's. But it was pretty steep, I'm not going to lie. And it wasn't the best conditions that we were in. It wasn't icy, but it was very firmly packed. There was no fresh snow. It was very mongrelly. Jose's partner, her daughter actually slid backwards down half of it, which was a bit of a scary moment, actually. And this makes me realize how far, so I'm trying to nuke through as many of these comments as I can. How far behind am I? I'm not that far. Okay, so let's do a rapid a rapid section of comments. Not a CVLOG. So All Man Shredder says not a CVLOG report from the board progression channel. Yeah, no, I've been meaning to watch more of board progression stuff, and I got that when you said the initial comment. L-Stack is ready for Chuck vlogs. I'm ready to make them. Well, nearly. So, you know, the majority of issues you brought about filming while would be solved with a 360 camera. I should delete that comment because you are incorrect. Thank you, Adam, though. Adam wants me to ride with a 360 camera. I'm resisting it. LH Cool Breeze was still here when that comment was written. Good to see that you're still watching. Cool Breeze, I've been loving your vids. I need to watch some of Cool Breeze's vids, I think. I need to check out. Have you got any new videos recently? I haven't seen any notifications, but I've been a bit behind on my YouTube watching because I've been trying to enjoy my holiday, not be tucked up in a room watching YouTube videos. But L-Stacker, what's happening with the Max? So that's a question from Bad Riders. Colgo knows. Says, thanks for all that, Chuck. I stopped trying to film my riding because I really don't care about my enjoyment in the moment. I'm boarding anyhow. Oh, you only care about your enjoyment in the moment. Too old to get YouTube famous. So am I. I'm not here to get YouTube famous. I just love being part of the community, and the making videos is a good kind of hobby project for me. And the engagement in the community is the main reason that I'm doing it. I'm not a good enough rider to be getting famous for anything, but if what I'm doing helps stoke out some of you guys, then that's a bonus for me, 100%. But the other thing that you can do, and what I do sometimes, is I've got a mouthpiece mount that if I still want to film something, the footage can be a bit boring with POV, but if I sometimes, if I just want to focus on riding and I still want to film, I'll put the mouthpiece mount in and just do that for the day, and that doesn't put off your balance at all. You just need to. The only problem is that I can't really talk. Jose was laughing at me because it's like I've got a dummy in my mouth. Cool Breeze says L-Stacker says that he'll be at Wolf Creek in 8 days. That's sick. I hope you're going to be recording that because I can't wait to see more videos. Some talk about L-Stacker's GoPro. There's a lot of talk between Bad Riders and L-Stacker Adventures about Elliot's camera, what's wrong with it, and that it could be replaced. L-Stacker Adventures is now sitting in the hot tub. I really miss that hot tub. Coglio knows how many of us are close to 40 years old in here. This guy. And that's the other thing that I like about this channel is, like, you know, I mean, I know there's older people in this chat than me, and you guys are an inspiration to me. So I'm hoping that there might be some other approaching 40s that may be wanting to start snowboarding and think, oh geez, I'm too old for that, and see people like us doing it and be like, hey, it's not too old. You can snowboard and you can really enjoy it, regardless of the age. And I think if anyone was to do that because of watching us, that would be the sickest thing ever. I do have new videos. That's true. Bad Rider says he's 36. Chuck's closer than I am to 40. Yeah, I'm 38. For the record. L-Stack is 31. Kenny is 40. That was a long time ago, he says. So he's not 40. He was 40 a while back. Luke Hayes, 39. So, Brad Ryder says 30s is the new 20s. LH Coolbreeze is 56. Kenny says his knees are 63. Can we get Old Man Shredder in the chat? Is he thrown an age down yet? Or is that considered rude? Actually, I just got a message. Did I? No, that's all good. Chasing Power on Monday. No lines, Chuck. I hope so. L-Stacker Adventures, I'm gonna get into the Steam room. Are you gonna be taking your phone into the Steam room? Bro, that's insane. I know Kenny on board's going to Brian Head. That sounds like a cool place. I'd like to go there. Kenny says he wish he had the Epic Pass. Yeah, I'm actually quite pleased. I'm getting to the bottom of the chat now. The rapid round helped. So I'm gonna, for those who are wondering how long this has already gone longer than what I was expecting, but I'm gonna go to around about the 2-hour mark in the live chat before I call it, because by then I'll be turning into a pumpkin, and I also want to. There's a bit of paperwork I've got to do ahead of my test appointment tomorrow. And what else have I got to do? Oh, edit some videos, I guess. So I'll go for until a little bit after 2 hours, I reckon, another 15, 20 minutes. So if you've got any questions, or if there's any part of the trip that I haven't spoken about yet that you want to hear about, then by all means throw them in the chat now. Or if I've missed your question, I'm pretty much almost to the bottom of the chat now. But if I've missed something, just throw it in the comment, throw it in the chat box now, because now will probably be the last chance. I don't think I'll be doing another live stream until I'm back in Australia. So yeah, now would be a good time to engage. So, but L-Stacker Adventures, did you take your phone into the Steam room? And Martin, you're a beast. I don't know if you've put that in a DM because you don't want it to be said on the live stream. But for your first comment, I say thank you. And for your second, I say you're an absolute beast, my man. An absolute beast. Oh, no, he just put it in the chat. Okay. Oh, Martin Walgren, the old man shredder himself, turning 50 this year. What a legend. And that guy shreds way harder than, I won't say that I ever will, because I have a lot of time, but he shreds harder than I do at nearly 50 than what I do at nearly 40. So if that's anything to go by, age is just a number. If you guys aren't following the Send It Syndicate already, actually, there's 2 Send It Syndicates on YouTube. The one that's commenting in the chat now actually isn't the main channel. I wonder if I can find it. I probably need to do that. Let's go here. Send It Syndicate. Okay. Not the easiest YouTube channel to find for some reason. Yeah, we're getting there. It's got to be here. No, it's the Send It Syndicate. There you go. Okay. Where are we at? Comment section. If you're not already following, then I'm dropping a link in the chat for the Send It Syndicate. Go have a look, because then you'll see what I'm talking about. Old Man Shredder, absolutely shredding it with the crew, with Swedish Rob as well. Okay. Kenny says forever young then die. El Stacker Adventures. Yep, Luke says age is just a number. El Stacker is asking how Brian Head is. Some comments about Brian Head. Always chill power stashes and more power coming. I'm jealous. LH Coolbreeze says a few videos there, so I'm gonna have to catch up. Sounds like we have a start to the official old man snowboarding group. Lol, I'm 44, says Coglio Knows. Yeah, definitely. And we need to get some mature ladies in here too, I reckon. So I've always felt that this community could do with a little bit more gender balance. But in any case, I'm stoked with who's here. Bad Riders says, I saw some subscribers throwing shade at SBC on one of his recent videos, but it got me thinking, what's most important channel for promoting community? What's the most important channel for promoting community in the YouTube snowboard scene? I think that's a loaded question, one that doesn't need an answer, because I don't think there is one channel that is responsible, should be responsible, or most important for promoting the community. I think the community is as a result of all of the channels. So you may, and I know that there's people out there that don't love every single snowboard YouTubing channel. I may be one of those people. But I do appreciate that all of them have their place. All of them have their viewership, and all of them are responsible for making this community what it is. So no, I don't think there's, I'm not going to play favorites about a specific channel. I think everyone has, I think there's definitely people in the community that feel the need to throw shade on certain YouTubers or certain kinds of content. I personally feel that there shouldn't be any place for that in the community, but at the same time, like, people are entitled to their opinions. So I'd much rather propagate positivity and stoke and people being, this, what the core of this community is. And the core of this community is the followers. It's us, it's the snowbirds, the people that get stoked out on it. And we are all in this because, we're in there in the comment section, encouraging our YouTubers, encouraging each other, and just generally trying to help each other out, because we all love this. We have this common love of this sport. And I think that's a beautiful thing. So that's how I'm answering that question. LH Coolbreeze, Rife Life. Better late than never, my friend. It's good to have you here, Brad. But we've probably got another 10 minutes here. So if you're going to answer, if you're going to pop some questions, now's the time. LH Coolbreeze, I recently filmed my 72-year-old friend and his daughter turning it up Beach Mountain. Let's go. I want to be 102 and still snowboarding. And if I look after my body, I think it's a possibility. Swanee Brews says he's 35, just a young pup. Kenny on board. Hell yeah. The double with cheese. Damn, I can taste it now. Actually, I'm pretty sure I'm gonna get the double, and I think it was El Stacker's brother was telling me to get the animal one. So that's I don't know what that is, but apparently I'm gonna get it. So that's it. Let's see. El Stacker says, yo, just got out of the sauna, it's way too hot. You need to jump in that pool, buddy. But don't jump in the pool, because then you can't be watching the live stream. Rife Life came in just as I was talking about the most heavy subject of almost the whole stream. How's Chuck still alive? Such an epic long live. I've done long live streams before, but my voice, like, was starting to go at the beginning, so it is a bit of a struggle. So I'm close to wrapping up, but there's still a little bit of discussion yet to be had. So Ralph Life saying hi to the stacker, and jumped on when things were getting deep. Smash the like button, says Ralph Life. All about riding at 102, bloody oath. Rob Fowler is signing off. Thanks for joining. I'll be signing off myself soon. Thanks for the live stream this morning. Yeah, my pleasure. I love doing these. I was a bit worried at the beginning, like the first 10 minutes. I was basically just talking to myself, but everyone's joined, so it's been so good. Ralph Life says best community on the internet. Yep. Actually, I think that was my comment almost exactly on Casey's video from yesterday. Bad Rider says he's got to go. He's got an hour drive to the airport. Drive safe, my friend. So see you next time. And thank you very much for joining and for providing that question that triggered a very deep answer from me, at least. Syndicate's off to sleep. Got a day of riding with Rob. Cannonball, smash the like button. All right, so there's a bunch of people signing off. Here's some shrimp and prawns for you. That's awesome. So what can we get in the chat right now? Because I know what I need to put in the chat. Something I've been missing quite a lot that I'm going to get when I get home. Get some kangaroos in the chat. El Stacker knew what I was about. Kangaroos in the chat for sure. So I guess I've reached the bottom of the chat. So if there's any other questions that you guys want to ask about the trip or about anything else before I sign off, now would be the time to put them in. Before I do close it down, I've spoken about a lot of things today. So where I'm at now, Salt Lake City, riding Park City, Utah for a couple of days before I fly home. We've spoken about the CVLOGs appearance from Casey's video yesterday, which actually happened a week ago. We've spoken a bit about Jackson Hole and my time there with Jose Bautista. We've spoken about Plattykill, which is the snowboarders only event that I went to with El Stacker Adventures and Board Through the Pain. We've spoken about my East Coast adventures. We've spoken a little bit about the videos that I want to come out soon. My videos from this trip that I'm going to be working on in order. So I started filming from basically a couple days before I left home. And I've been filming not every day, but just on the majority of days since. So there's going to be quite a few vlogs that I'll put on my channel so that you guys can kind of retrospectively see what the trip's been like for me. But we haven't spoken much about New York City. So after we left Mount Snow, Jose Bautista and I went back to his place in New Jersey, and we did we were in New York City for 2 days, and it was the biggest whirlwind of a tour. I'd never been to New York City before, and in that time I saw all of the sights, and you guys would have seen a bunch of photos if you're following me on Instagram from the spots that we hit. I just posted one earlier today, which was a iconic silhouette photo there's a nighttime shot with the Brooklyn Bridge behind me in that like street that you always see photos in. So I thought that came out really well, and I'm not sure if Jose is still in the chat, but he's probably playing video games or something and watching me, but I can't say a bigger thank you or big enough thank you for everyone who has helped make this trip happen. you know, Elstaker Adventures and all of his family were so welcoming and so nice. Hans, or AKA Board Through the Pain, for hosting us all across the East Coast. He was such an absolute legend and such a great host, showing us all around the area. You know, Jose and his partner Ruby, and their families, Jose's mum and Ruby's parents, Ruby's daughter, like all of those people have been amazing, and helped me out so much on this trip. I've eaten so well. I reckon I've gained, I don't know, 20 pounds since I've been here, or at least 10 kilos. I don't know, but I'm afraid of getting on the scale, like when I get back home. But I've also got to say thanks to Tim Wilson and Erica, Elstaker's brother, and also Elstaker's mum, Rosalie Wilson. All these people, this trip couldn't have happened like without them, and a bunch of people that I met on the trip to Jackson Hole. That was such an epic crew. You know, my man Teets, who I did an afternoons of riding with, really good rider, one of Jose's buddies, and also I met a guy who I've been following on Instagram for a while. I didn't even know that him and Jose were buddies, but a guy who on Instagram he goes as Trails 2K, and the guy, his name's Eddie, and all he does is he just hikes mountains. And I think he's absolutely insane. And but those guys are really good snowboarders, and they were doing the backcountry hikes, and it was all kind of inbound stuff. But there's this one area of Jackson Hole that that you've got to hike up to get to it, and they were just doing laps and laps and laps of that. Whereas I was more on the terrain that the magic the magic chair sends you to. But what an epic trip. It's been so much fun, and it's not even over yet. I've still got a couple days at Park City that I've got some exploring to do and some more riding, and then I'll be back in Australia riding my one wheels and trying to get ready for the Australian season, which will be only a few short months away, where we have a lot of fun things planned for that too. So I know Swanee's ready, or maybe I know Swanee's not ready for it. We'll see. But some people are calling out some destinations for the next trip. So got to go to Bogus, got to go to Whistler. Elstaker Adventures is claiming Australia and Sweden. I really want to go to Sweden, and I know Old Man Shredder's already left the chat. But I promised him on New Year's that I was going to visit him in 2023. So I'm not negging out on that, not yet anyway. So that's still a very, very strong possibility. And Elstaker Adventures coming to Australia, could that happen? Australian winter is coming. We shall see, won't we? He was claiming it in his live stream, so we definitely shall see. Adventurer Carlo says he's back. Yeah, thanks, man. It's good to have you. He's just got done mountain biking. I hope you had a good ride, man. The white knuckle driving is awesome. I hate that stuff. Yeah, driving in America, which I've done. I drove all the way from Jackson Hole to Salt Lake City, and driving around Salt Lake City, I have to say I haven't seen many other places where the drivers have been this aggressive. It's been quite an experience. Brightfly says you're on the American diet. Huge portions. Yeah, I know. Not only huge portions, but everyone... but everything over here is full of sugar. But I must admit, I went to Whole Foods the other day, and I wish they had a shop like that in Australia. Oh, they have a kind of sort of do, but Whole Foods is my jam. There's lots of good stuff in there that's actually kind of sort of healthy. There's a couple of food items I'll probably miss. Rough Life says, Chuck, I'm a floating couch guy myself. No hiking for me. Yeah, those magic flying couches, they're the best. Love the chairlift. I don't mind a small mellow hike. Like there's a few areas in Perisher where you kind of need to like traverse a bit, but or you need to like either skate or unstrap and walk to get from one area of the mountain to the other. But none of those are any more than kind of, I don't know, 100, 200 yards sort of thing, you know. Glad to have, so Coglio knows, glad to have a second round, Chuck. Safe travels and best wishes. Catch you in real life someday. Anything Michigan area, I got you covered for the future. Mount Bohemia. Oh my God, Mount Bohemia. Let's do it. Next US trip. I'm claiming it. Mount Bohemia for sure. Was just watching Casey's videos from there the other day. Adventurer Carlo, I also got to ride with you. Thanks, man. I was shouting out all the people that helped me. If I was to try and shout out all of the people that I met along the way, oh my God, that would be that's a heavy thing. So I'm sorry if I left anyone out, but it's been a heavy trip for sure. Swanee Brews says Swanee is ready. Oh, that's right. Yeah. Rough Life and Coglio Knows are both riders from Michigan. Maybe you guys should hook up. I'd like to see a collab there. In fact, I'd just love to like meet, just to have like a trip with the Rough Life crew. I just think that would be, you guys seem to have a lot of fun, and that's what I'm about, is having fun on and off the mountain. So the vibe in your videos, it comes across like real, it's really palpable. So yep, Adventurer Carlo says he's got heaps of videos. He had a great day riding. Coglio Knows says he's down for an Aussie trip too. How many can you sleep? That's a heavy question. I've got a couple. Depends on how many at once. But I don't live anywhere near the mountains. So that's a logistical thing that needs to be sorted out. So if you're keen for making a trip happen and serious about it and have some time frames and dates, we can talk. I love the love in the chat. Rough Life saying that Coglio should hit him up if they're ever seeing each other. You guys travel around a fair bit though. Bohemia is legit. It looks like it. So we've got a new person, Glockenspiel Pickle. I love that name. That's awesome. They're very close to the UP in Michigan. Up in Michigan? What does that mean? Not sure. Would be boarding in Michigan too if the border wasn't weird. Okay. Oh, UP means Upper Peninsula, I assume. Okay. And it's like, it's a weird area. Like apparently there's a vortex. It's kind of like Japan, how they've got there's a lake effect, and the lake feeds like the weather systems, and they just get a lot of power there. I know, Adventurer Carlo, you are stoked for the video. I can't wait to make it. So I've got a tubing video that I'm going to make. It's going to be very similar to El Stacker's one because we kind of use the same footage. But that one's going to come next, and then I'm going to start the trip from the beginning. The good thing for you is that that when I met you was my second day on snow for the trip. So that video will probably come sooner than many of the others. Kenny on board says, I don't care what anyone says, I trust TJ because he talks the talk and shows you he can board 100%. Yeah. TJ also is a very very carefully spoken person, and he doesn't say anything that he has not 100% verified, and is something that so I think his channel, and having actually spoken with him about this, like, he really values accuracy in what he's reporting. And not only that, but the guy, I mean, you watch his videos, the guy rips, and he's a really good snowboarder. So I have to agree with you. The Rough Life crew rides Boyne most of the time. But yeah, that's Rough Life asked a good question. I'm interested where that comment kind of does come from, because I feel like most of the YouTubers, I mean, on YouTube, I guess you've got to admit that, or you've got to recognize that a lot of the time people are giving their opinions. Some of the time, and a lot of the time, those opinions are being paid for by companies. So you've got to be able to, I think any intelligent viewer can recognize when someone's being paid for something versus when it's their experience and a genuine, something they're saying genuine. I know, sometimes the snowboard YouTubers, and they all cop criticism for various reasons. So, and they all, for the most part, handle that criticism really well. So I'd say, if you were in their position and you had people, trying to call you out on things, then, then how would you react? But at the same time, they are putting themselves out there. So that's just part of life and the internet. But, as a person, you can choose to rag on something, and you can choose to have like a negative viewpoint, or you can choose to have a positive viewpoint. And Rough Life putting it out there, the comment that I think I'm going to end the stream with, which is good vibes. Ew. So, ladies and gentlemen, there have been so many legends. We've got 16 likes. We've had a whole bunch of people on the chat. At one point we had, I think, 13 people watching. So thank you to the mainstays of the chat. Rough Life for coming in late. Colgio Knows has been here from the beginning. Kenny on board's been here from early on. Swanee Brews joined us eventually. Adventure Riccardo's come and gone. The Glockenspiel Pickle, which I'm giving the honours award for most hilarious name on the chat. We've had El Stacker Adventures, who I believe is probably exiting the gym by now. We've had LH Cool Breeze. We've had the Send It Syndicate, so AKA Martin Walgren, AKA Old Man Shredder. We've had Bad Riders. We've had, who else is here? Who do I need to shout out? I'm sure I'm missing someone. Luke Hayes. And if I did miss, Jose Bautista, Osvaldo was here. We've had Robert Fowler. Who else do I need to shout out? I know there's a bunch. There's so many legends have been in the chat today. I think I've got most of you. Oh, and Red earlier on in the chat was here too. So we are now going 2 hours and 13 minutes. So I don't know if this is the longest live chat that I've ever done, but this has been a pretty long one. So Cogliano says legit live. Glockenspiel says thank you from Northern Ontario. in Northern Ontario, Canada. Nice to have you in here. Thank you for joining us. This has been an epic live stream. I've still got a little bit of this trip left to go, but thank you everyone for joining. If you're watching this back and you've got any questions, leave a comment for me below. I answer all of them. And you guys are legends. Continue to be excellent to each other. And we'll see you probably back in Australia. All the best. Take care. Love you all.